So, this was sent to me by my anonymous source. With only 8% built, Texas quietly defunds the state border wall program. Build the wall. Build the wall. 8% of it.
Oh my god. That's pathetic.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, let's see, there's an estimate in here somewhere for how much. Oh, yeah. So the state's wall program was going to take around 30 years to complete and more than $20 billion.
Yeah?
So, like, that is ridiculous. I love this. This picture is a segment of the wall.
What
like,
the fuck
yeah,
is the... What is that supposed to stop?
That's going to stop everyone.
The fuck?
It doesn't even go across the obvious paths.
No, it's just there.
It's just sitting there.
It's just sitting there.
So one of the problems that they ran into with this is that they actually passed legislation when this was all starting, where they're not allowed to use eminent domain to take people's property to build the wall.
So people can literally just have property along the path.
That's the thing, is that most of the border in Texas is privately owned land. It's a bunch of ranchers. Mm-hmm. And a lot of those people were like, I don't fucking want a wall on my land. So they just said no. And because they passed that thing where they're not allowed to use eminent domain to take it, they haven't been able to build on their property. And they did try to revise that. They tried to pass other things being like, oh, no, let's use eminent domain now. But those revisions always failed. They never passed.
So we just call this Trump's wall failure.
Mm-hmm.
Like every single thing he does, it is always half-cocked.
He's not talking about the wall.
Well, of course, he's not
much anymore.
And he's not going to be talking about the fucking parade after a week either.
Did you hear there was a I don't know if it was a hot mic or if it was just a there was a moment where he was with Prime Minister Carney at the G7 summit, mm-hmm. Where he was talking to him about the parade, and he was like, oh, it was a beautiful parade. They said it was going to rain, but it didn't rain. And that was like the best positive spin that he could think to put on it.
He said, so even if it had rained, they started the parade early just to make sure that it would be able to happen irrespective of the rain. Like, they panicked so much about that they started it a little over an hour early, because I remember hearing about that live while I was in the line trying to get to the front of the parade. But apparently tripods are really scary for the United States military, so that didn't happen. Turns out, I would have been kicked out not just for the tripod, but also my backpack. Apparently you weren't allowed to have a backpack if it was more than 7 inches deep.
Really?
And more than 18 inches tall. So that nixes my camera bag, too. I looked online and found all, like, the contraband that they ended up saying you weren't allowed to have, and a backpack that's, basically longer than your forearm is considered contraband, apparently. I'm just trying to figure out what the United States military is scared of when they've got 100 fucking check-in stations, all of them with metal detectors and military personnel, and tanks. I'm just trying to figure out what was going to be in my bag at that point, that the tanks weren't going to stop.
Just so everybody knows what kind of a person I am. In a group chat that Suris and I are both in, when Suris posted about going to the parade, everybody else in the group chat was like, Suris, be safe out there. And then I was down there being like, do it Tiananmen Square.
No, what you did is you said, you have the chance to do something epic, and then you sent a Tiananmen Square gif.
Yes.
Which is... The delivery on that is a little more on the nose.
I would have loved that.
So it turns out I couldn't have done it anyway. Like, even if I had made it through, the security on the actual path was way, way thick. Like, there would have been no opportunity to do that. Even getting... So, like, my idea of a parade is like Mardi Gras, where everybody gets access to it, and you get to just kind of be there. Like, that's what I thought this was going to be. So, why the fuck would I look at a fucking contraband list? That doesn't make any goddamn sense! They have tanks! Anyway, That's my idea of like a celebratory parade. I was not aware that there was going to be so many goddamn layers of condom just so that Trump didn't have to worry about just having a try-to the last time that he showed his face in public doing a big speech without all of the security measures from God.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Anyway, back to the wall. So 4 years after governing... Up against the wall. Something. Did you see the squeaky tank? Yes, I saw the squeaky tank. That's the best video ever. Where it's just sadly squeaking by the empty stands. I thought for sure that somebody added the squeaks in post, but apparently that was legit.
Jesus Christ. Artemis says, don't you know tripod beats tank and tank beat tripod?
I'm gonna have, you know what, my two youngest kids are at the stage where they're doing the make up whatever the fuck rules to rock paper scissors to make sure they always win no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna have to introduce tripod. This tripod is so powerful it can beat tank.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that did you also along the lines of doctored footage of the parade, did you see that Fox News like added fake cheering in?
Yes, I did.
It was ridiculous.
And the cheering that they added in made it sound like it was only a couple hundred people cheering. Like it wasn't even good fake cheering.
Cinderone says all tanks squeak like that. Yes, all tanks squeak like that, but it was just like there was just something about the squeakiness with the silence, with the empty stands that just like put it together, and it was hilarious. But anyway, back to the wall. Governor Greg Abbott, 4 years ago, 4 years after he announced Texas would be the first state to build its own border wall. Isn't Texas like 90% of the border with Mexico?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a bit in California, I think.
Let me go ahead and take a double check on the map real quick.
Come on, you're the American. You're supposed to know your own geography.
I don't.
I just know that Florida looks like a penis and Michigan looks like a glove.
So, Arizona, New Mexico, and California all border it, but Texas takes up about... Like, Texas has about 50% of our border.
Okay.
Thank you for the hydrate stuff. I appreciate it.
It's not a hydrate, it's a wet yourself.
Yeah, but it says hydrate on my thing. I can choose which one I respond to.
Stuff says wet yourself.
Stuff's probably drawn me wetting myself. I don't fucking care.
Probably, yeah. That does track. So, yeah, they've completed 8% of the 805 miles of that was identified for construction, and it's cost taxpayers more than $3 billion. So $3 billion for snippets of wall that look like that.
At that point, honestly, we could have just gotten healthcare for a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is why healthcare is not too expensive. Your priorities are just fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, anytime they try and tell you healthcare is too expensive, just be like, okay, what's the military budget? Could we take 1% of the military budget and throw it towards healthcare?
Constance says, didn't the guys behind Cards Against Humanity buy a section of land across the border? I believe they did. They
did, yeah, and then there were lawsuits between them and Elon about it. Stoff says, I have not yet.
Yep, yet.
So, look forward to that if you are on Suris's Discord and have access to the NSFW channel on it.
Look, I can at least take up Stoff's time because Stoff technically owes me 5 commissions right now. I sent Stoff a Nintendo Switch.
Does
technically,
this count as a commission? One of the old ones or Switch 2?
Old ones. I had 2 Switches because I got a replacement for mine because my old one didn't work in portable mode very well. It mostly only worked when it was docked. So I don't use that Switch anymore. So when Stoff was like, I'm looking for a Switch, like, thank you for mentioning that. I'm shipping you a Switch. I don't need this thing.
Yeah, no, we have too many switches in this house.
Yeah, one of them is on the other side of the screen.
Sure. I'm not a very good switch, though.
Bad at the doming or bad at the subbing?
We can turn this into a TMI stream?
I mean, you don't even have to actually like go into NSFW. You just
I didn't say NSFW, I said TMI.
again, one 6 dozen in one, half a something in the other. I don't know, but that said, I don't really care which one. I'm just curious.
My partner and I both have submissive tendencies.
Oh, okay. So you get to do the thing where you stare at each other and go, "Oh, but are you gonna wiggle it?"
Which one's going to pounce on the other?
And the pouncing never happens. It's more of like an
And
awkward...
she just got home. I just heard her walk in the door, and she's got our stream playing. So, hi, honey. Okay.
Perfect.
Hi. She's smirking at me. So, the wall is full of gaps that migrants and smugglers can easily walk around. Really? You think? State leaders suggested that the federal government could pick up the effort. However, during President Donald Trump's first term, when wall building was his top priority, because it's not anymore, his administration completed just 21 miles in Texas, about a third of what the state was able to build over the past 4 years. So the state did 8% of the wall, and the federal government did a third of that. And that's when it was top priority.
This is so sad.
Yeah. But that's basically it. And remember, Mexico's supposed to pay for it.
Yeah, it is. It's supposed to. That's what I was told multiple times. But, you know, that never happened.
Nope.
Nope.
All
Sad
right,
wall. Sad
moving
wall
on.
noises.
Womp womp. Oh wait, no, I have that. No, I have to. She did not get dinner, but last I saw, she still had some breakfast left. I have a sad trombone noise, but I don't. Nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. There it is. Fennec says, label the soundboard. Oh my god. Yeah, so here's the thing about that is my audio setup is fucked. Like, royally fucked. When I moved, I have... So remember a couple of weeks ago when you were complaining about my buzzing microphone?
Yes.
Yeah, so the way I fixed that was to plug my microphone into my PodTrack Zoom P8, which is an audio interface thing, and then have the monitor output from that go into the 3.5 millimeter microphone jack of the Go XLR, which then goes to the stream. Because the thing is, I like the Go XLR for audio routing. So like it shows up in Windows as like 4 different audio devices. So like I can have music playing in my headphones that you guys don't hear because the Go XLR routes it to my headphones, but not to the stream. And there's all sorts of fun stuff that you can do with the routing feature in the Go XLR. And I've not found anything, and believe me, I've looked, I've not found anything that can replace it that is even remotely close to what this thing can do. Unfortunately, the Go XLR has been discontinued and they're no longer good doing software updates for it. So it's going to break at some point, and I will be sad when that happens. But because I like the way that it does the audio routing, I'm not willing to give it up as my main interface device. But that means that in order to have my microphone working, because apparently I was getting all that buzz when I had the XLR plugged into the Go XLR, I now have my microphone plugged into a Zoom audio interface, which is then plugged into the Go XLR, which then goes to the computer, and it's all kinds of messed up.
I mean,
and what's that have to do with writing this button makes womp womp noise? It's because that's one of the default sounds on the Zoom pod track that my microphone is plugged into now, but because I haven't been using that for ages, it doesn't even occur to me that that is an option for soundboard stuff. It's the Go XLR soundboard, because that's where I can do the custom ones like that. I can.
And also,
You fucking ooh slut.
did you record yourself saying the slut part
No,
too?
you know what? I don't always listen to the oohs that Piper sends me before I throw them on the soundboard, so I feel like that's just a new one that was longer than usual.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I didn't know that that was there. But yeah, because I'm used to where everything is on the Go XLR, I can find the ooh button, but I don't know
Brew Demon, thank you for redeeming your
which
points for an
buttons do
all.
what on the pod track. But I did know that one of them was the sad trombone.
Well, you almost got to the sad wall noises. I don't know how far away from the sad wall noises you were, but we'll go with almost. Hey, there it is.
There we go. Sad wall. I hope you have enjoyed this behind the scenes clusterfuck.
Maybe.
Anyway, in other happiness.
Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I really could not do any of this without all of you. Those of you watching, and especially those of you who support me on Patreon. I wanted to go ahead and take a minute to thank all of you who do that, because with YouTube being what it is these days, I really cannot do this full time without the support from each and every one of you. Those people would be Red Joker, Purple Poundini, Jemshin, Britzkrieg, Jupe the Malignant, Michael, Ravelern, Mabbity Babbity, Astral Frontier, Tales of Atonement, Nixie Chan, Kiri Artemis, Limor Pinku, Love Bunny Games, Victorian Alchemist, I'm not saying the last part of that, and you know that, Aurora, Leela Ururaka, Arcton Arclacier, Kiratorian, Dren Hadamata, Jordan M, John L, Lord Bleck, Smiling Game Master, and Fireshard. Thank you so very much. But since you're here, why not go ahead and try watching another one? There should be one that's on the screen right now. And if you are a patron of mine, I wanted to go ahead and thank you again for all of your support. There is still a video you could press, though, if you'd like. I would appreciate it just a little bit.